सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती की जय। Friends, today we have chosen a topic: if prayers work. Do prayers work? I have lived a life of prayers. The material world had its own problems and challenges, and there was an alternative for me, was a world of prayer. I took to that somehow. It was probably a little bit of an influence of my family. My mother herself, she was an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. So, right from childhood probably, I developed this inclination towards the unknown, unseen Supreme. As years passed by, I had my chances to interact with various gods. I had a glimpse of them. They did manifest before me with human forms like you and me. But it was a sort of a state of mind, like half asleep and half awake. It is called an Unmani state. Unmani, you're not fully awakened, you're neither fully sleeping. There is a small little gap between the two. It's a state which is between rest period and working period, or a thought and a thoughtless moment. A thoughtless moment might give you these sort of glimpses. So I have lived by prayers. But somehow today, at the age of 75, 76, though I have had the chance and the glimpses of various gods, I have somehow accepted all of them to be in one person for me. That's my mentor, Mahayogi Umanand Saraswati. For me now, turning to her is as good as turning to Supreme God. And see how these prayers have worked for me. I'll just give you one example. You can, because it's endless. 76 years of life with prayers is a long journey. But still, I'll give you one example. I had been to London. I was staying with a person I knew for a long time. I was to stay there for 6 days or 5 days. And within those 5 days, I met a person who, while talking to me, expressed to give away his villa to me for my services, spiritual services. And he said, we will put it in the will, so after me it will go to you. Of course, he could have had a longer life. I don't know. But of course, I felt a little happy. But the person with me probably didn't like the idea. Whatever the reason, I don't want to get into that. But the person, when we drove back, the person who was driving, that's the person whom I stayed with, drove very harshly. And unfortunately, when you drive with anger, you tend to meet an accident. Anger results into accidents. There are about 40 reasons for various tragedies and illnesses in life. I shall come to it someday. It's a very interesting topic. I held it in Canada. I had it in Canada. But here I come back to the place. So the person who was driving dashed into another car or whatever. It was a bad collision, but it's not so bad, so we were just saved. But I got a little bump in my head. Now I expected the person I was staying with to say, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, are you hurt?" or something like that. And the person just reacted, "Why did you sit without belt?" Now I realized the anger had culminated because it was first an accident and the reaction. Now staying with them would have been a little difficult for me. Now how do I get out? I just had 5 notes of £100. So I couldn't step out so boldly. I had to be quiet for some time. But then I turned to my prayers. Friends, I'm telling you this just to understand how prayers can stand by you. There are certain prayers laid down for us. We have a book of that. In Siddha Yogashram, we recite Guru Gita. It's a prayer to a guru, a mentor. I have interacted, luckily, I've had great visions of all the gods. We call them as mythological characters, but no. They have manifested before me in almost human forms, but with beauty around them. We'll come to it someday. But somehow I have culminated the understanding that I would want to go through my mentor, because she too manifested before me in the form of a goddess. And for me, there was a personal contact with her for a long time. So somehow, she took the place of all the gods and the Supreme in my life as my mentor. And being a guru, my guru, the prayers were for a guru, Sri Guru Gita. In the morning time, early morning, I offered my prayers 3 times. Just asking her to help me out of the situation. There was no anger with me for anyone, because we are all humans, we make mistakes. But then how long do you want to carry on? Because you're carrying out. I was out to have a spiritual camp. I just needed to be in a very positive atmosphere. So, anyway, I offered my prayers. And by the time my prayers were over, I received the call from the same gentleman who had offered their villa. He said, "We are here. If you need any help, please let us know." So I asked the person, I said, "Is it mere formality or kindness, or do you really sincerely mean that?" He said, "Of course we sincerely mean that." So I said, "Then by 1 o'clock today, I would like to shift to your residence." I shifted. I stayed with the gentleman for 3 days. He told me that just about a few days ago, he had received 3 enlightening works of my master. Jnaneshwari has understood. And he somehow felt, being intuitive, he somehow felt that somebody he's going to meet who will be related to this particular mentor. I was fortunate. I don't know how the prayers work, friends. I don't know how they work. It's a universe. Neither had I prompted to the person whom I was staying with, nor did I speak to the person who helped me later. But I just prayed. I don't know how that universal person or universal mentor or energy works. But I had a reply. I stayed there for 3 days more. I delivered 1 or 2 talks with their group, and then I left for USA. Yes, there were some very good people I met in USA who helped me to work for 20 long years every year. They helped me to camp with them and speak about it. I'll be introducing you all to some of these great people. But prayers do work. There are hundreds of occasions which I can talk about. I'd like to tell you a very interesting story which is from the life of Lord Dattatreya, one of the greatest gods worshipped in India. The story goes, it's almost the story in his own, in works which are dedicated to Lord Dattatreya, in that a simple common couple is living in a house which has a tree next to it. And on the tree there's supposed to be a Brahma Rakshas, some demon, but an auspicious demon, not somebody very mean, somebody who's probably still trying to find enlightenment and move on to the next world, and is caught up between two worlds. And he stays on the tree. Now these people, they come to know, and then they are a little scared about his presence, but they don't, without disturbing him, they continue to live. One day the Brahma Rakshas realizes, it's not fair that these people are so scared of me and I stick along. He said, I shall leave. And then he calls them and tells them, he says, don't worry, I'm going to leave today so you can be comfortable. Let's not get into how can they speak, how can we hear. Let's just accept it as a story. The wife is smart. She says, you've harassed us for so long. And before you go, I want a boon from you. So he says, what boon can I give? He says, you are scared of gods and you keep away from them. That means you can see them. So he said, yes. Okay, then she said, you have to show the God to me, to us, and then you may go. So he tells them, all right. He tells them, all right. The moment I call you, you have to come out. They said, of course. One morning he comes and he says, wake up, wake up, wake up. My master is right outside. Lord Dattatreya is right outside. They both come out and see you. Just a very ordinary looking man is distributing some meat pieces to dogs around. So the woman accidentally says, what nonsense, he cannot be God. And the vision disappears. So the ghost says now, Brahma Rakshasa says, now I'm going to go away. You didn't follow my instructions. You didn't believe me. They say, no, please give us another chance. And next time again he tells her, wake up, come. Lord is right here. They see a man sitting in a tavern and drinking, boozing. Again, unknowingly, the man says, what nonsense, how can he be God? The vision vanishes. Now the Brahma Rakshas, he said, nothing doing, I'm going. But they both of them force him once more. He said, once more, just last time. And the last time, he wakes him up at night. And he says, come. You want to see God, I can show you. They hurry behind him. He takes them to a graveyard. Now, being with a Brahma Rakshas, being at the graveyard, their teeth get locked due to fear. But now they have the last chance, so they cannot lose it. They follow him. And he points out a person leaning against a grave. And he says, it's him. Don't let him go. And he vanishes. These two pick up their great courage. Imagine they are in a graveyard at night and they are going to interact with a person leaning against a grave. They go. And out of just fear, they clutch to his feet, they hold his feet tight. And they say, no, we are not going to let you go. You are God. We want to see you. First he says, what nonsense. I'm just sitting here. Go away. She said, no, we are not going to go now. We're going to hold your feet and we are not going to let you go. My guru used to say, when you hold hands, they can then let themselves go away. But if you hold the feet, a person cannot move. Lord appeared. Lord appeared in his full grandeur, splendor. Friends, they are there. They are there. They do hear you. They do come before you. You can see them in human forms. Of course, the moments are few, but there are not one, hundreds of stories. If you just hear them, I'm going to tell them. If you are interested, let me know. Hear them, because these are golden moments. When he appears in his grandeur, he says, all right, what do you want? He says, nothing, sir. We just wanted to see you. And the whole thing probably vanishes. The story is left here. It stops here. But trust me, I've had some opportunities where I could see. So I consider this as a true story. You have a nice day. Look out for gods. You never know. You'll see. It's a beautiful world. It's his creation. With every creation in his world, there cannot be a problem without a solution. We just need to seek him, find him, try to know him. All right, friends, this is Swami Radhikanand from Pune. You have a nice day. Thank you.